The shotgun or the Lightchaser, which is better? Easy question you might think, but today's video we will be finding that out. So there we have the shotgun level 50, epic level 2, and we're actually going to be jumping into the main chapter modes. So we are going to be doing a comparison of the shotgun and the Lightchaser after the sort of amazing performance of the shotgun in my previous video against the revolver, which I will link in the top right of the video here. I thought it'd be worthwhile comparing the shotgun with the Lightchaser in normal chapter modes. And I know you might be thinking that the Lightchaser is easily going to win, but I thought it would be worthwhile at least looking, as I'm always really impressed with how the Gatling gun does. So I thought let's just see how it gets on. So usual rules apply in these comparison videos. Anytime that the shotgun or the Lightchaser are available to be upgraded, I will always choose those. I'll also aim to do as much damage with those primary weapons as possible, i.e. actually moving the character to try and physically do as much damage as possible with those weapons. If those weapons aren't available to be upgraded, I'll just upgrade the tech part weapons and try and keep everything as equal as possible. Whenever I get an Evo upgrade in the first run, I will try and get the Evo weapon of the second gun in the second run as close as possible to the first. Even if I can get it sooner, just to keep things fair, I'll try and get it as close as possible, so both weapons are being Evo upgraded as similar time as possible. And there you just see how good the shotgun can be against the Giga Stinger. The first boss has gone down. That is pretty much what the shotgun is used for, to get sort of close up into the boss's face and just sort of wipe him with a couple of pumps of the shotgun, and there he goes down. In terms of the weapons that we've got, I've actually got a really nice build in terms of the other weapons that I'm using. We have the force field, obviously the Molotovs, the football, and the drill shot, which I really like, and we're trying to sort of upgrade them as evenly as possible, just so none of them get way ahead, and we also try and get all the passive upgrades that allow for the Evo upgrades of all of those, and a lot of those passives that actually really help out the shotgun, i.e. the reload time, which works out really well, and we're upgrading the shotgun really nicely. I think it's level 4ish now, and we get it level 5 quite soon, which means it's just waiting for that Evo for the Gatling, and that's when the real carnage can begin. And there we have it. So shotgun now is level 5, and even though I have the attack passive upgrade, for some reason it doesn't actually give me the Gatling. So if you know the reason why that might be, I swear sometimes it's just random, but it is what it is. But we go into the second boss here, still getting upgrades without the ability to get the Gatling, but shotgun manages to deal with this boss well enough. It doesn't go down obviously as quick as if I had the Gatling, but thankfully within the boss's chest we do get given the Gatling there. So now the sort of real damage can begin, and hopefully we can start to rack up the kills with the Gatling gun, as I know that the Lightchaser will obviously be doing really well in terms of kills. And we now come up to the 6-minute boss. I think that there's 2 more left. He's a really good size for the Gatling, in fact, and obviously all the bullets pretty much hit unless you're running away. We get the whistling arrow there in the chest, and the attack and the damage being done now by the Gatling, and I suppose all the other weapons is really good. The whistling arrow was the second Evo that we got given, so now we just need to try and get all the other weapons leveled up as much as possible, just so it's a fair comparison. Obviously if Gatling is the only one that is evoed, it would be not really a fair comparison. And we come up to the second to last boss, the Toxinator, and again goes down pretty instantly using the Gatling gun as the main weapon, and we get the 1 iron ton in the upgrade, and then the Evo upgrade of the football in the chest there. All those enemies on the screen, and as you can see, it is pretty much carnage. With you can't really see what's happening, to be honest, but obviously I'm just sort of spinning around. That's my tactic, trying to use every bullet of the Gatling gun to make sure that they are hitting enemies. And as you can see, we pretty much used all of our level ups, and we're on to the last boss now as we approach the 8 minutes. The Papillion Queen, not the most ideal boss with the Gatling, as they do move quick, but there we have it. 16,771 kills, with 16% of that done with the Gatling gun, with the shotgun. There we have it. So we'll just compare that now with the Lightchaser. As we reset everything, we go back into level 13. We obviously use the Lightchaser. Level 50, epic level 2, and we jump straight into the exact same level. We obviously do our best to try and get all the same weapons at the same time, with the same Evo upgrades, etc., and even the same passives. Obviously, we do need to get the Ronin instead of the attack upgrade, as that will allow for the Lightchaser Evo, which we do try and get. And I suppose I came into this thinking that the Lightchaser probably should run away with it. Obviously, being an S tier weapon, it should be better than the shotgun in this chapter mode, especially this specific chapter mode, which is the square stage, as opposed to sort of the full 360-degree map or the up and down. It's obviously a lot more compact, which I think lends itself better for the area strikes of the Lightchaser. As you can see, especially with the pierce effect that they have, it does seem to be, at least at the early stages, doing a lot more damage at the early stage. But we have got the Lightchaser there just to level 4 already, so it's leveling up quite nicely. But obviously we will need to get the Ronin at some point in order to get the Evo upgrade, which obviously the shotgun run didn't have. I'll also note here that I end up having to get the boomerang as a weapon here, as opposed to the Molotov. That was just a bit of an unlucky weapon choice that I ended up having to make, as I sort of ran out of refreshers, and it is what it is. It is a bit of a shame, as the Molotov actually did the most damage in the shotgun run, so I thought that may play a bit of an impact, I suppose, in what the end result is. But the boomerang also does quite well, so hopefully everything else is sort of evened itself out. And here's the boss, and we actually just absolutely destroy the boss, and I think that comes down to the damage that the Lightchaser actually does. Even though it's not meant for bosses, it is a very high damage weapon, so I think that actually does help us there kill the boss. And we do get the chance to get the Evo upgrade there of the Lightchaser, but we in fact get it twice. But I choose other weapons, as I am trying to keep it as even as possible. Obviously we get the shotgun Evo at around the 4-minute mark, so I'm just trying to get it as close to that as possible in order to make sure we are keeping things as even as possible. But as we kill that elite boss, we actually automatically get the Evo of the Lightchaser, so we do get it slightly earlier, only 50 seconds, but I suppose it is what it is. It's not going to be an absolutely perfect run. I did actually have around 4 or 5 different attempts before this one, as it's just so hard to try and get things as even as possible on the runs. You end up getting unlucky somewhere, but this was the closest in terms of when the Evo level ups were done, and even the weapons, even though there is one that is different, that is pretty much always going to happen on a run. But all the passives pretty much are identical, other than the Evo ones that we need, and even the sort of other Evo weapons that we get come at a very similar time. The whistling arrow comes first, so I think that is all relatively even. And there you can see we pretty much destroy that boss again, and we're just pretty much trying to level up everything else relatively evenly in order to get the Evo weapons as quickly as we can, just to keep things fair. And we get the hero wang there, which is the Evo of the boomerang, which actually does quite well. But you can see when we're in sort of the larger groups of enemies, my tactic, I suppose, is quite similar to that of the Gatling, where I'm just sort of running around in circles trying to get as much of the enemies in the way of the Lightchaser as possible, and we end up getting all the sort of Evo weapons exactly the same as the previous run. The one iron ton and the football have come, and we're on the 7-minute boss. The Rush Nasher here goes down probably in a relatively similar time as the shotgun. Getting the lucky train, get some Ronins, it doesn't really matter there, and we'll just carry on trying to kill as many enemies as we can with the Lightchaser. And I think so far so good. Obviously my tactic there still is very similar, just to run around, kill as many enemies as I can, and again we have come up pretty much to the end of our upgrades as we approach the second to last boss. In fact, the Toxinator again goes down relatively quick. I think the Gatling is a bit quicker in terms of taking down the boss, but there you go, we're actually maxed level completely now as we approach the last minute. Look at all the sort of death and destruction that the Lightchaser causes here, and we're also still picking up some of the gems as we were running around and killing the enemies. And you just got to think, or I was at least thinking, that this was doing far more damage and far more kills than the Gatling. As we approach the last boss there, that just sort of lasted the whole minute. Papillion Queen, here he is, moves quite quick. We obviously don't kill it as quick as the Gatling was doing, as we don't have that sort of direct attack. But it does go down easily enough, and 6,808 kills total, with the Lightchaser doing 23%. So now we'll look at the scores on the door. So with the shotgun, the total run kills was 16,771, with the shotgun doing 16% of that. So the total shotgun kills was 2,683. The Lightchaser, total run kills 16,808. Look how close that is with the percentage with the Lightchaser as 23%, which means the total Lightchaser kills is 3,865. But that is such a close run between the two, especially with the differences that we had in the runs. Although the Lightchaser did win this, it was incredibly close. So we're making this a best out of 2, and we'll go on to the next chapter now. So here we are already in chapter 14. We have the shotgun bucket back out. That has all been reset. So shotgun back to level 50, epic level 2, and we're just going to speed through both of these runs just to get the second comparison in our best out of 2 event. Both of these runs are actually really lucky in terms of the weapons and upgrades we get, come all at a relatively similar time. So this is going to be a really good comparison. Obviously the chapter is different. It's a full 360 degree, which I thought as a best out of 2 it is going to be a really good comparison to have the two different types of levels compared. And as we're just flying through the stages now, you can sort of see how quiet this stage is, at least compared to the last. So it's an interesting comparison. It's obviously just completely different in terms of the number of enemies and the types of enemies that there are. But I think that the shotgun is actually doing quite a good job in terms of killing the enemies. There just aren't that many, so we are sort of speeding through as upgrades are quite slow to come by. But we do manage to get the shotgun. I think it's on level 3 as we're approaching the 5-minute boss. Here it is, and we've got sort of a full stack of weapons already. We're just, as I say, we're just sort of skipping through it, and with this boss we just sort of point the shotgun in its face, and that is exactly what the shotgun is good for. And there it is. So shotgun is now level 5 after defeating that boss, and we already have the attack upgrade, which allows for the evo of the shotgun. But strangely enough, I just don't get it in any of the upgrades. And it takes me over 2 minutes and 5 or 6 levels in order to get the Gatling. So really baffled as to why that sometimes happens. But we do manage to get the Gatling at just over the 7-minute mark, which isn't too bad. And we'll just sort of skip forward. Zombies incoming, but as you can see, absolutely nothing on the screen. As soon as you get the Gatling, at least until towards the end of any chapter so far that I've experienced, it is just utter destruction. And here we go with the 10-minute boss. You just sort of pre-aim the Gatling straight into the boss's face, and they do go down pretty quickly. The Donald Trump there doesn't really stand a chance. And now it's just about getting all the other upgrades as high as we can. Here we get the Shark gun, and other weapons are sort of becoming evo upgraded as we move along, lots to level 5. We get the whistling arrow there, force barrier, brick also moving up to level 5 as well. So lots happening, and we will skip forward. We'll get one of the chests, get on the lucky train here, and we will get the fuel barrel. So pretty much every weapon now is evo upgraded, so we will just skip right towards the end of the map. And as you can see, the last sort of 30 seconds or so, there is absolutely manic on the screen with all the enemies. The Gatling gun, as you can see, it can't get through them all, and I think this is where it may sort of fall apart from what the Lightchaser can do, as it doesn't have that pierce. And there were a lot of enemies. Never really feared for my life, but it wasn't really killing as many as I hoped. And we move on to the final boss, the Sapper Worm Beta. I'm not really too sure what that name is all about, but this boss is actually quite tricky for the Gatling gun, as he sort of moves and dodges quite a lot. But there we go. That is the final boss down with 24,698 enemies killed, and the Gatling gun doing a very impressive 39% of all of that damage. So really happy with that with the Gatling gun. And we'll obviously move back onto chapter 14. We'll get the Lightchaser back out, reset everything. It's all the same stats, level 50, epic level 2, and we'll obviously do the exact same with the Lightchaser now. So here we are, first minute in, and we only get the first upgrade for the Lightchaser. So not an ideal start, but it is really slow anyway, so I don't think having the upgrades would actually do too much. But we managed to kill this little elite boss, which doesn't actually do too much, as we haven't really got that many weapon choices, and it gives us 5. We do manage to get the Lightchaser there to level 3 already. And as you can see with the zombies incoming, the Lightchaser obviously has a much wider area of effect, so it is doing a lot of damage, especially with the pierce effect as well. And we get the Lightchaser there coming up to the 4-minute mark to level 5 already, so really good to get that Lightchaser leveled up so early. And here we go with the first boss. Goes down easy enough. I don't think there was ever going to be any issues there. We're just looking pretty much for the Ronin now, in order to allow us to get the Evo upgrade for the Lightchaser. Struggling to find it, as we're 5 minutes in. We get loads of levels up from that boss, but still no Ronin. Coming up to the 7-minute mark, we'll just get this level up here, and again, no Ronin, and we get the option to get the Whistling Arrow, but I'd rather not have an Evo upgrade before I get the Lightchaser, as I think that would just sort of skew the results massively. So all the other weapons that I have are already really leveled up, and we get the Ronin, but strangely enough, same thing that happens, we don't actually manage to get the Lightchaser Evo upgrade. For some reason it just doesn't give it to us, and I must get so many level ups, and it just doesn't actually allow us to have it. So we even get a chest here where we could get it, but it gives us the whistling arrow, so not ideal. But in the next level up, it for some reason does decide to give it to us. So we're around 2 minutes slower than when we had the shotgun upgrade, but it is what it is. It can't be perfect. But we move on to the Donald Trump boss. Kill it relatively quickly, not quite as quick as the shotgun, as I say, that is generally the case, but it does go down easy enough. Get on the lucky train, we get all the rest of the upgrades, and a lot of the Evo upgrades now we've already got, and it's just a case of seeing the level out. And as you can see, the Lightchaser here, just absolute destruction. You can see all the damage that it's doing as all the sort of key waves from the Lightchaser are going through all the enemies, and I thought this was absolutely going to destroy what the shotgun was doing, just because of the pure damage the Lightchaser is actually doing here. It should be way ahead of what the shotgun was doing. But here we approach the final boss with the Lightchaser, the Sapper Worm Beta again. We get a load of upgrades there as we just get a magnet, just pretty much finishing off all of the other Evo weapons and a few other upgrade sharp gun and the force barrier, etc. Get up to level 41, I think it is. There it is, and then we'll just try and kill the Sapper Worm. Pretty slow, really. I know it wasn't quick with the Gatling gun either, but obviously the Lightchaser does take a bit longer to kill it. But again, we weren't really in any danger. It just took a bit of time to kill him, but he finally does go down eventually. There it is, and that is the victory. So 23,091 kills with the Eternal Lightchaser upgrade doing 35%. So let's just go into the numbers here. Shotgun, total run kills at 24,698 with the percentage of the shotgun doing 39% of that, meaning that the total shotgun kills was 9,632. Lightchaser only did 23,091 kills in its run, with 35% of that coming from the Lightchaser. So the Lightchaser kills 8,081, and the end level for the Lightchaser was 41, whereas the shotgun was 39, which I can't actually work out. Even though the Lightchaser had less kills in the run, it ended up on a higher level, so I'm not actually too sure how that works out. But there we go, the shotgun actually takes this round, both with a total higher run kill count and a higher percent with the shotgun, which actually blew my mind. It went completely against what I thought was going to happen, but the data does not lie, and there we have it. So for those that say that the Lightchaser is pretty much the only weapon that you can use, at least on these stages, are wrong, as the shotgun has proved that it can at least keep par with the Lightchaser. So really interesting comparison I did here, and I'm really glad I did it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, both around how I can get Evo upgrades consistently, and on what you think about the comparison here. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. So really appreciate if you got this far in the video. This did take quite a bit of time for me to put together, so if you do appreciate the content, please do like and subscribe. That is much appreciated, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks a lot.